I don't even. Every day.
All right, ladies. All right. How y'all doing? Welcome back to the Bitching Hour. I'm your hostess, Poetic Empress. You're not going to be able to see, but in the background, it's the panel. I have Jea Lo. I also have Liquid Fire. And we are about to talk about motherfuckers. Now, that ain't what they really are, but that's what we're going to call them. I call them motherfuckers. I don't know what they going to call them. But, okay, we're going to give it a professional name. We're talking about men that come into our energy, okay? They come in as a diehard, the ones that come in real strong and then they leave real strong too. Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. And I'm gonna start it off because I had something happen to me like that recently. Okay, so ladies, recently we're gonna say about maybe 3 weeks at the most. Okay, there was this gentleman came into my inbox after I got off of a live because I do poetry on other platforms with various artists, and this gentleman was like studied rapid firing me, so to speak, with all of these text messages and stuff and asked me for my phone number. Okay. Now, prior to this, I have to go ahead on and go back a little further. I did hear from him. I think it might have been a couple of months before, but I brushed it off. I just said like, "Hey, how you doing?" because, I got that greeting. All right. Now, after this, he says that he's looking for somebody. He wants him a one-on-one, okay, relationship. He's looking for somebody that's going to be his end-all, be-all, his forever person, okay? In his mind, what he believes is that I was his one-on-one person, his forever person. So, honestly, from the beginning, I took him as a joke. Honestly, yeah, because I felt like that any man come in that strong, and I know that he was trying to lead up to the place where he could start showing me his art, his body art. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call it. I knew at that point that this probably was one of those people that just want to come in and get them a quick lay and then move on down the road, right? So let's rewind it all the way back to the last couple of weeks. Okay, not this week that just passed, but the week before. I got a message, I say maybe around 1 p.m. and say, "Hey, I really want to show you something. Can I send you something, please, please?" And I'm saying in my mind, this motherfucker just want to show me his dick. All right? All right, we're going to make sure y'all know this is PG-13 or 18. I don't know. So okay. I'm saying to myself, I say, I know this all it is. So I went back and I said, okay. I say, yeah, sure. Lo and behold, that's exactly what it was. Just what I thought it was. He wanted to show me his anatomy, right? So, and I told him, I said, well, I already knew that's what you wanted to show me. Then he goes on to say something about what you feel like you can do with that. I said, I don't feel like I can do nothing with it. I'm trying to keep it 100 because, you don't come at me the wrong way, but you want it forever. And to be honest with you, I don't think that men today know how to approach somebody that they find or they feel that's of value or that can add more value to their life. I'm thinking that maybe all of them are just stuck on, let me show you my dick, so to speak, and maybe we can go from there. For a real relationship, especially with a person that's my age or a little younger, we need to get to know you. Okay? We need to find out a little bit more about you. Where your mama live? Who are you? How old are you? Okay, what are the things you're interested in outside of a woman's anatomy? Okay? You trying to figure out how long it's going to take you to be able to get somebody to do some apple bobbing on your ass? Anyway, so now, this is where I'm talking to my panel about. Now, check this out. Here it is. As of this week, I reached out to this gentleman that's been calling me, that's been texting me like all the time. Okay, all the time. When I say all the time, just as if I'm having a conversation with somebody in the room with me. And just so happened the day before my birthday, uh everything went silent. Now, I could take that two ways, but before I say something, I'm gonna ask my panel, what you think about that? Somebody that's been on your trail hot and heavy, and the day before your birthday, they know it's your birthday because you made sure you let them know. All of a sudden, everything goes silent. But I forgot to mention this. This person said they're out of town. Didn't give you no indication they was leaving. Didn't say, hey, I'm going out of town or anything. But everything is totally silent for the what? I say maybe.
I smell a liar on my end. The liar, something's going on, a creeper, a hider.
Yeah.
He could be out of town. He could also be busy. He also has a phone. And if you're telling me you're not looking at your phone anymore just because you're out of town, it's all kind of fucking red flags.
Red flags.
And you are too grown. It was never cute, not even in the 20s. Like, let's just be open and clear. And why all of a sudden when the communication stopped when it was popping?
Indeed.
You're a user. You're trying to see what you can get. You're fishing. Is it a game? Is that fun for you? Are they bored nowadays? Do they just want to play a game? Do they think that we're not going to notice that conversation was popping and all of a sudden it stops or slows the fuck down? What's up?
Yeah, and curious minds would like to know. I myself feel like that this person may have somebody else, but wanted to probably keep me in their pocket as if, I'm a pussy pocket.
Let's ask the public male public specifically, if while dating and or just getting to know someone or chatting, how many is too many? Some women and some men do have more than one or two people they talk to and associate with. Some women, like us, we decide to stick to one, and we notice quicker than may say others. So if it is something to the importance of family or vacation, we need to know the enlightenment. Is it too much? Do we need to know a certain placement of just hanging out and friends? Is there in between? What's the communication? And how many is too many? Is it people speaking to one or two different people that they're dating and they have in mind that they want to sleep with and or be partners with?
All right. Well, y'all heard the question of Jea Lo. Jea Lo want to know, how many women do you find is too many women for you, or what's too much for you? Is it too much for you to send out a message to say that you're busy, or to let a person know in advance? Well, we just want to hear back from you. Y'all have the open floor to leave as many comments as you like, and we will address them accordingly, okay? And hopefully you'll get the opportunity to come on one of our live shows and be able to voice your opinion as well. All right? Now, if you read the About section, it'll let you know that if you want to come on this show, all right, there is a fee. You pay your fee and we let you know. We send out the link to you so you can pop in. Okay? All right, now. All right, Liquid. Now, Liquid said that as fast as they come in, they leave out. All right. Now, I know I didn't retain everything that you said, but please feel free to reiterate.
I think I did mention how initially it could be plenty of contact, plenty of conversation, back and forth interaction, and then all of a sudden it stopped. What just came to my mind also is it could be a multiple things. You lost interest, changed your mind. Your woman got a hold of your phone. And whatever that is, why aren't we as grown people just saying, I'm just looking for a good time? Whatever it is. Or I got really caught up. I'm really busy right now. Or I changed my mind. And the other point, I forgot what that was. But that's enough right there.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
Because
it doesn't make any sense that you wouldn't and say why it stopped. Oh, I just been busy. I just been doing this and that, or it was too much. Whatever it is, if we're adult, then you need to say that because you're wasting time. Don't nobody want nobody that don't want them.
Indeed,
and you would that same respect.
That's correct. And the other thing that I forgot to mention, this gentleman told me that once he got back in town, that he would contact me. So I couldn't understand why would he have to wait till he got from point C, E, O, D, whatever it is, to point back H, so to speak. Okay. I mean, why would you have to wait there for? Because when they made phones, they reach all the way to Singapore, Mexico, Canada. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can answer that? I can't hear
It's
you.
not to say that it's sanitary or safe, but nowadays people be on the goddamn toilet texting. People check their phones while they're waiting in traffic at the light.
Right.
Or freaking driving.
So
you mean to tell me you that busy you don't never look at your clock? Some people don't even use their watches like that. Of course, a lot of more men do wear their watches, but come on, man. Whatever it is, just say it so we can move forward.
Yeah, you found somebody else that was a little bit either more attractive or more free to give up the punani or whatever it is, okay? And that's what you was sick. Yeah, something that was more exciting. And that was a conversation we also had. Conversation was, he say, oh, it's a lot that you don't know about me, but somehow you believe that all I was out for was just the cookies. Well, I mean, that's the way you came at me. So why would I not think that that's the only thing that was on your mind? You're looking for a good time, okay? And maybe you went to wherever you went to and you got that good time. However, it's been quite a while now, so I figure if this person was really interested or sincere, they would have reached out by now.
I thought of something else when you're ready.
Yeah. But
share, liquid share, put it in context, however it is, and that's how it works out. That's what we're here for.
This is the bitching hour. When we say whatever we feel like that is true.
About being serious. And if that's the case, you so serious that all of a sudden communication stop?
Yeah.
Why do they do that? They be putting it on like it's really something deep, or that they're really interested, and then you stop.
Now this person tells me that the person tells me that they have a very professional position, okay? This is what they tell me. However, they also have habits, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not a person that wants to get myself entwined with someone that may have any habits that they don't have control over, I mean, if you tell me that you've been doing something ever since you was a child, you mean to tell me as a grown-up all the way back from a child at no point did you ever think about curbing that, changing it, tweaking it a little bit, okay? And if somebody came in your life that you thought was important, I mean, wouldn't love make you want to actually do a little tweaking or something or toning it down? Okay, so at this point, now that I sit back and I start to replay things and conversations in my mind, I'm starting to think that this person may dropped off the wagon, or what we used to call it, on a mission. Yeah, that's what we would call it when a person is on drugs and they addicted real bad. They got on a mission, okay, and they're gonna be missing for a little while. So if that's the case, they can keep missing because I'm not gonna be looking for your ass. Okay, simple as that. All right. So, I mean, all I say is if you're going to come at somebody, come correct, all right? Be honest from the gate. Don't wait until later on and then after you've wasted somebody's time and their energy, okay, or they decide to give you their time and energy when they could have been doing something else, and then all of a sudden you want to drop off the face of the earth, okay? And as far as trying to keep somebody in reserve, I find something wrong with that. We made a joke about it prior to us coming on the bitching hour. Okay, we're talking about trying to keep somebody in your pocket as if they're a pocket pussy. Okay? Yeah, a lot of men know what a pocket pussy is, and if you don't, look it up. Did somebody ring the bell? Yeah, that was enough to ring a bell on. But yeah. Yeah, so that's how we feel. That's how I feel, and that's how the panel feel about people that come in. Now, there's women too that pull this case, same old shit.
On the words out of my mouth, that goes the same way. That goes the same. You don't lead people on. You don't be dishonest. You don't paint a picture that ain't real. People want to paint a picture. It's like this. This is why I'm coming to you. Oh, you're the one. Oh, I'm really feeling you. Then all of a sudden, drop communication or act strange. That goes for both sexes. Right. I don't care if you're a leprechaun, you got pickled skin. I don't give a fuck. For people. I'm talking about adults here. We're not talking about teenage love, teenage dream, high school dating.
Talking about people who know better. Okay. And since we're on that, talking about people that know better, what about these men or women that are much older all right, that somehow they all of a sudden revert back to being acting as if a teenager. Now, I can understand some of that may have happened because they ended up giving up their childhood at an early age because they had to take care of other siblings, okay? All right, but this seems like there should be still a line drawn, within oneself, okay, of how far they want to go. Because you got to remember, you still have to hold up a standard. Okay, but some people say, fuck standard. I'm going to be loose and free like everybody else. But instead of that making you a leader, that makes you a follower when you once were a leader. Okay, and you were looked up to as being a person that's of respect. Okay, a person that has self-control. I know these are not the words, but let's go with these. Okay, so I mean, how do y'all feel about that?
I think that's a great point, and it also makes me think that's fine if that's where you're at, and you need to get some monkeys off your back, like my mama used to say, or you're using being young as an excuse, or heartbreak. Well, now it's my time to shine. Well, now I'm gonna do what I want. Even as women, sometimes too, like I did before. Like, well, the dudes get to do it like this. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want too. It can come and go. I can pick and choose who I want. It's my body. Oh, I'm exploring my sexuality. What I've come to find is that even if you're okay with it at that time, you're just prolonging being with the one who's really going to do you right, who you're going to really do right, your divine partner, whatever you want to call it, a good relationship. There's so many other things. Everything that's connected is so much deeper than what it seems on the surface anyway.
Right.
But it also comes back to being honest, not just with other people, but with yourself.
And that's also, in my opinion, I think that's also another form of venting. It's not showing that you have self-hatred for yourself, but you feel like, well, I was hurt so bad, so you go out and vent. Your venting may be because you was cheated on, so you go out there and you may want to decide to just have your string of people, male or female, and just go out there and just, as Liquid said, explore your sexuality. That, to me, that's a form of venting. Okay, and eventually, either somebody come in your life and you'll feel more comfortable with it. Don't mind sitting down talking to, possibly end up having some consultations without even realize you're doing it. And it'll change your life, and you'll end up getting back in your beautiful place that you were at. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people say, well, why would you say, if I decide to explore my sexuality with any and everybody, that don't mean that I'm not beautiful. It's not saying that you're not beautiful, but you're taking your beauty and you are giving it away to people that's undeserving. Now, that's how I feel about that. Okay, because at the same time, you're taking on other people's energy. Okay, so and they're taking your energy and you giving them yours. And at the same time, what's happening is y'all are kind of like switching roles. So if you do this, let's say you did this about maybe 40 times, 60 times, okay, could even be just 10 times. Eventually, you'll begin to lose your own identity because your energy is going to be fragmented, just like a computer. Okay, some of it is over here, some is over here, some is over there, and vice versa. So you'll take on the other attributes of somebody else. If it was somebody who's immature, you're going to have some immature ways. Okay, you can say, no, that's not true. Yes, it is. If you continue to indulge with a person that is, it's like that, you're bound to collect some of them because, we are energy and we do swap energy. That's why it's wise to know exactly who or what you're dealing with, especially when it comes to your energy. All right. Jea Lo, what you have to say on that, Jea Lo? Jea Lo is on mute.
All I heard was the last part of like energy swapping, and then I tuned back in. I had a delivery, so I was dealing with the door.
Okay.
I could she can piggyback. I got something to say about that, and that'll probably bring up some stuff for her too. She might want to chime in because that's kind of what I was alluding to, or I started to mention about how it's more deeper than just I'm standing in my own sexuality, or I'm taking control of my body and I get to choose who I have sex with, which is what you're supposed to do. But protecting your yoni, especially for women, or portal, for men or women, you don't know what kind of spirits. It's more than meets the eye. What kind of spirits that person has on them? Are they a succubus? Are they someone who has a lot of trauma or needs healing? Or is it just going to simply be a regret later on? It could be those sexual encounters that are so casual could have so many different, you know what I'm trying to say, on you?
Yeah. Levels.
Results.
Yeah.
And there's different levels to it. And like mine's, it's kind of like a gray area, but it really isn't. It's kind of more black and white. But when I mention gray area, there are certain situations where I was like, "Ooh, I'm free, I'm single again," or "Oh, I'm out of high school, I'm grown now, I'm gonna do this." There's only a few things that I seriously regret. For the most part, it's like, hey, I did what I did. I'm very lucky. I honestly never had any STDs. Or been in like a real serious, scary situation per se. And when I did, I was able to fight out of it. But it's at the end of the day, you don't know how you're going to feel later.
Right.
And you don't know what kind of bond you did make with somebody. You don't,
right.
You don't know this person in the past life. The few things that I do regret, now I've healed through it and worked through it, where you're not beating yourself up, you're not depressed anymore, you don't feel sick about it. But a few things you go back and you can laugh, but you be like, damn. And that person didn't deserve my goodies. And I ain't had no business out there like that. Oh, I regret it. Or the other day I had saw somebody at work. And absolutely, it's your body, you get to do what you want. But the only thing you don't know for sure, other than how you feel at the moment. I'm at work. And I see somebody and I was like, oh, God. I was like, oh, there's nowhere to hide. And we're outside. And I said, oh, God, I don't want to know where I work. It just took me back. That was over 10 years ago. You don't know how it's going to affect you in the future. I know you got something good to say, Miss C and Miss G. And I can get going. Now, Miss C just got me going. I'm about to mute myself.
Now, only thing I was going to add to that is, because once you decide to make that when you become consensual, okay, to a rendezvous, whatever you want to call it, it's not like you can go to the store and say, I'm returning this here, I want a refund. No, because once you give it away, you can't get that back. But you will have to do some work, some spiritual work, in order to be able to, to get your energy back from that last person, those people. Okay. And I was thinking too about what you said, about past people, that wasn't deserving of your energy, but we gave it anyway. To this day, I can only think of one time that I gave myself to somebody, and I did it out of love, and I totally regretted it from the moment that the moment that I actually laid with this person. Even every time I thought, and when I saw this person, I won't lie to you, I always felt ashamed. Nobody knew I did this that I didn't think of. Okay. But apparently there were some people that did know, and these people happened to be relatives of this particular person. So I felt really fucked, I said, man, I can't believe I actually stooped that low. All right. And this has nothing to do with a situation which we'll talk about in another bitching hour, if you don't mind. Okay. And remind me, okay, that the next one we do, or one or two after this, is talking about how is it that people that are very close to you, you expect them to believe you and stand up for you, or even come to your rescue if you tell them, hey, somebody did something, and this person, and instead of your person of interest, or your committed person standing up for you, or trying to protect you, they take sides with the other person because they feel like that they have much more of a bond with this other person. But then you find out many years later down the road that it was something else. There was something else behind all of that. Yeah. So if you don't mind, remind me so we can have that conversation too. I don't know if we should in this one. Okay, well, we only.
Now, there's another point to bring up, and also the energy. Doing so that's all great. To each his own. You know, I feel that put it to me or to women. I'm just gonna generalize it in the sense of the sexes. Men have multiple partners, and sometimes they'll be exclusive with one and not, and they'll have two or three that they do the same thing with, and without anything or any ties being had, they can have these partners and have these relationships and do this. Some women can too. Now, more on a spiritual level, yes, there is connection, there is that. But I think just as easily as a man can release and ejaculate and not have a spiritual connection or tie and make a life and abandon that life, women can do that too. So there's a thin line, or you just need to be in tune with your star player self to say, okay, well, I could go ahead and fuck this person, but I'm not going to attach to that.
And I think that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I think that comes from because they have numbed their conscience. They've done it so much. They got to the place now they no longer have a conscience about it because, you know, after you've done it so many times, you will become numb to it. You can actually shut that down. So maybe that's what it is. And then again, because to me, I don't understand. Me, myself, per se, being a spiritual person, it's kind of difficult for me to be able to just have a loose relationship with any person. And I know there's many others out there as well the same way. Because women that are born a particular way cannot just go out there and just have a regular relationship like that. Just go out there and say, I'm going to have a random what you want to call rendezvous without catching feelings or being attached spiritually. That's where I'm
for a whole nother talk show. That's what seems to me that there's several factors that come into play. It could be culture, it could be the family or the people that you're around, it could be many different things, how you were brought up. But I feel like spiritually we're more on an even playing field if you're going to go deep with it and you're worrying about your soul and your spirit. Also hear what Lopez is saying as far as more commonly it's easier for a man. I wasn't necessarily talking about emotionally because men and women are wired differently in that aspect. And of course it comes down to the person, the individual. Some people are at a certain time. I was like, I don't want to be with you like that. Sometimes I was disconnected and I chose to do that. But at the end of the day, it really does come down to the individual, and you don't know how you're going to feel later on. And it really does come to your spirit. Once again, you don't know what kind of bond that you're building. But on surface base, it does seem more accepted or more, I don't want to say natural. I want to be careful, but I was going to say natural for a man to want or to be with multiple partners and not have any initial bad consequences or feelings about it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So that's pretty much like saying that they're really in the market, okay, for looking for the one. And while they're in the market looking for the one, they're actually like shopping, like going through the store and picking up different fruits, you know. Oh, this looks nice. I think I'll buy this and take it home. Okay, that didn't taste good. Let me go to the store and I'm going to try a different kind of fruit. Maybe a fruit of the same kind, but this time I get one that's a little bit more riper, or one that's less riper. Okay, one from a different country. Okay, you see? So, yeah. Okay. So pretty much we can say that although men or women are seeking the one, a person that they feel like they might be the one that would fit perfectly into their life, they're also still seeking. They're still looking, regardless whether or not they say, you know, that they feel like that you're their forever person or not. there's no guarantee that you're going to be there forever. So I guess if we would take on to relationships and wear them like we would wear a t-shirt, put it on today, it fits real nice and stuff and snug today, make me look good. Okay, at the end of the day, we pull it off and get ready to wash it and get ready to wear another one, then I guess everything would be fine. But as I was saying, it's kind of difficult for some people, especially those that are very sensitive in the spiritual realm, to be able to adopt that way of living. So, yeah, I guess it would be best that if we didn't take relationships too serious. Now, since I mentioned that makes me think that back when I was very young, and I did take on a relationship like that, which I realized that as long as I did not express feelings, this person was all into me. But the very moment and we're talking about many months later, the very moment that I did begin to start, being a little more kinder and softer towards this person all of a sudden lost interest. Now, y'all help me now, because this might have something to do with this situation that I recently went through. As long as I wasn't showing interest, this person was hot and heavy on my heels.
That comes to communication and being honest with yourself, what you really want. And things do change. You feel a different way, like, oh, I want to do this now. But if we were really honest, and I feel like certain things I would have cut off sooner, to where I'm not now in my 40s, like, okay, I'm ready. Even though everything happens for a reason, like I want the real thing. And now I'm deep in this spiritual game, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, awakening, to where there's no way that I would even waste my time unless I know that someone is the one. Or even a step before I got to that point, if you don't want the same things that I want, then what's the point of us even talking?
Indeed. I can relate to that. I can actually agree to that. All right. Because I realized I was in a relationship for 7 years. And while I was in a relationship, it was at the end of it. And it was strictly platonic by my choice. And I'm glad it was. Because I still felt at the end of it that I wasted 7 good years of my life. And I could not get that back. Okay?
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. And I beat myself up, I know, for about 3 weeks. Because I kept playing it over my mind. 7 whole fucking years on somebody that wasn't worth it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And I also lost my character. This person would take me completely out of my character. So, yeah.
I know one thing, though, that I'm always proud of is that I never become bitter. And if I did, I don't stand in that. That's not me. I don't play the blame game. We have to get to that certain point where you're doing what they call shadow work, where I'm not blaming anyone. Nobody forced me to do anything. So now you have to come to terms with, okay, these are the decisions that I made.
Right.
This is what they did wrong. This is what I allowed to happen
at
the same time. And then it's like, dang, I got more stuff to heal from. I could have cut some of this stuff out. And that's okay. But that's why it comes to being honest with yourself, the person that you're entertaining, if that's the word you want to use, that you're giving your energy to. You got to be careful. That's where intuition and discernment comes into play. Right. And it sounds easy. It's not. It's simple, but it's not always easy.
Fascinating that you would say that. 5 years ago, I actually sit back and I thought about it. I said, I can't believe out of all the relationships I had and how they went south and stuff like that, or how they was abruptly just ended. Not one time did I think about trying to get back at these people or do something really messed up to them. Not once. Okay. Except, okay, but we're not going to talk about that last We're not gonna talk about the marriage, okay? But we're talking about past people, and I thought about it. I said, I can't believe not one time did I think about, you know, trying to pay these people back. I didn't think about doing nothing, really serious to anybody. But what I would do is I would cry. And I think my night of the soul was me having a cry fest that lasts anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And at the end of 90 days, I got up and I washed myself up and I was cleaning stuff. I hadn't washed it out and I could walk on down the street and without, but before that, if I passed by this person or saw this person and they totally like ignored me, oh, I mean, I held it together until I got home and then I fell to pieces like a puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like a wet puzzle. Yeah, but nobody knew that. I think I was a trooper all the way to the end, in a relationship. And the one of the awesome things that the things that happened to me really was awesome. That these people always came back in some shape, form, or fashion. They may not have said, some of them did apologize. Some didn't. They just wanted to start up from where they left off, or they wanted to acknowledge that they had never had a relationship like the one that they had with me and wanted to come back. And I always told myself, let me think about it. And I would always do like a total recall of whatever relationship that I had with that person. Sometimes it took 15 minutes, sometimes it took 3 minutes. But when that recall came, I said, oh, I remember why it ended. Okay, I can't go back that way.
No take backs.
No take backs. Yeah.
It would have to be a daggone miracle.
Well,
my spirit team saying, this is the one. You can go on this one. Other than that, ain't no take backs because it ended for a reason.
Right. Now, when I was married, there was a lot of things that came up in between my marriage that was that was no control of that happened, okay, on my end. So me being the kind of person that I was raised, because I was raised by much older people, and the older people, they taught you how to continue to be upright in a relationship, in a marriage. So I held my part. However, I found out that I was the only person, that was being faithful in the entire relationship. Okay. But all the way to the end, until the day that the relationship was over with, I went before the judge. He signed the papers. I took the other papers down there to the civil area and waited for the document to be put in my hand to say it was officially over. I was still faithful. I still did the things that a wife was supposed to do, or I felt like was supposed to do. Okay, all the way to the end. All right. So I never cheated on the guy. I didn't badmouth him to anyone. Anything that any kind of bills or anything that he had, whether he was in a position to be able to pay them or not, and they was coming to me or in my name, I took care of that. All right. But yeah, that was the way I was raised.
Well, I look forward to hearing the different male perspectives. And when I mentioned not being bitter, I would never become one of those women, especially to our brothers. And I know different kind of folks that don't look nothing like me, that aren't chocolate like me, but especially for our brothers or men in general, I'm never going to be a basher. I'm never going to say, hey, all dogs. I don't put everybody in one group.
You can't.
Because I still see people who have been in relationships who appear, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
That's
who
right.
Appear very happy. And I never give up on love. I'm not going to bash our brothers.
That's beautiful.
Or any man and group them in one group.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I think there's a lot of people that don't know what love is. All right, they're only going by what they see or what they was raised on television to see, and they assume that that's love, or that's how they connect it as being love. Okay, love says that I go out with my friends and we meet some guys right there at the bar or some kind of social group, and we all go out together. We have casual sex, and that's love. Or if a person just tell you that they love you, then that means that they love. Now, that love has different levels. A person can tell you that they love you, but they don't mean that they're in love with you. You know, I've experienced that, but I experienced that on a much grander level. Okay, and actually that happened to me in my marriage. Okay, you know, here it is. I'm married for X amount of years. You know, and all of a sudden I'm told I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And my response was, well, goddamn, you know, you could have told me this before we ever got married, and we didn't even have to do this shit, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, there's different levels to love. A person can love you and not be in love with you. A person can tell you that they love you, and they just mean, I love you as a person, you know, as a God made person. Okay, I love you from my spirit to your spirit because I feel our spirits are connecting. Okay, without saying that without actually being in love with you, you know, where I want to spend my life with you. Okay, I feel like that I cannot live without you, but I feel like I can live with you.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's a whole other ball game.
whole
Absolutely,
nother
people have
level.
different perceptions, like you're saying. They people have their own perception on what love is, and yeah.
We want to hear back from y'all. We want to hear what you have to say about this. Give us feedback. Give us comments. Let us know how you feel about this topic. All of the topics. I mean, because all of this just came up under one umbrella. This was not this was not something we put together, we pre-planned. Okay, so what you're getting is exactly what's coming out as it is. All right, okay. But we want to hear from the male perspective, the female perspective, okay? And like I say, this is called the bitching hour. So you feel like you got something you want to bitch about, please be a guest on this show. And we'd be more than happy to allow you to say what you feel. As long as we're not talking about racism, because we're not trying to defame anybody, all right? Don't use no names, okay? And we're not talking about religion, okay? Because those are the two topics that can actually take a whole thing sideways. All right? Okay. Jea Lo, is there anything you'd like to add to this?
No, ma'am, Miss Press Ham. So far following along. Seems really good.
Okay. All right. Liquid, how you feeling? We still got about 18 more minutes.
I'm feeling good. This is a great start, and I love organic conversations. And sometimes, like when we're bringing up one topic, like you're saying, it's an umbrella. Other things flow. You get other ideas or other side notes, and we can grow from there.
This was a beautiful topic, and each and every person on this panel is beautiful as well, including you out there. All right, so we do look forward to hearing back from you. I'm going to see if there's something else that we can add to this. All right, so I mean, if there was anything that you could add to this pertaining to the new guys or the new ladies that are trying to start a new relationship. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know where that came from. However, I will tell you, I'm told that when you out of nowhere sneeze, that's your, and it might be an old wives' tale. You take it and leave it the way you want to. It means that you are actually releasing some bad energy that's being thrown your way. So what do you think? Is there anything that either one of y'all would like to add pertaining to this new way of being able to connect with someone or start a relationship? I mean, I myself could only say that, gentlemen, if you're embarking on a new relationship or you see somebody that may be a potential partner or someone you feel like you can grow with, all right, don't lead with your genitals. And if you don't have a conversation, all right, take some time out if you have to and formulate one. All right, if it including small talk. Good evening, how are you? How was your day? My name is such and such, okay? And I'm very interested in you, and I'd like to know if we can start from a mere conversation to find out more about each other. That right there will get you in the door, okay? Unless you're dealing with somebody that is totally off the scale mentally. Now that's my way. That's where I'm at. That's why I figure it would be one of the a nicer ways to be able to get somebody's attention who you feel like that you want to actually um, have be a part of your life and that won't actually deem you as being, a cockhound or a crotch hound. Okay. Anything you want to add, Jea Lo or Liquid?
Not at this time. I look forward to the next episode because I do have something else I'd like to share, but we want to add it to the next time.
Awesome.
We're going to let this one marinate. Thank you for
Okay.
opening your platform.
You're welcome. Thank you for being available to be on it. Jea Lo. Everything is good. Everything copacetic. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see y'all on the next bitching hour. All right. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Right on. Get in where you can because we expect to hear from you and have more contents coming out on more sensitive things, more sensitive topics in the near future. Okay? Peace.